stacking an armbar is much better than trying to stand and pull out of it. But often in no-gi, you can kind of get away with that pull out and hope for the best.
Yes.
Edie doing a great job to control the arm in what would have been slippery circumstances there. Next up, we've got young Axel Howie, recently promoted to brown belt by his coach Luke Martin, up against Nick Bilton. This will be a very interesting clash. Nick's 3-1 on subversion with 2 very quick heel hooks inside and outside. Axel, though, very experienced when it comes to the leg game, training with a plethora of coaches over the years. Of course, was legacy in his younger years, done a bit of work with Jeremy Skinner, and now, of course, with Luke Martin at Sydney West Sydney West Martial Arts, I should say.
Axel was being a high-level competitor, I think, since he was a little kid. When he trained with us in the gi, he was already like in the adult class at 13, 14 years of age.
And he wasn't just there making up the numbers, was he? He knew what he was doing.
He was there training hard.
But of course, Nick Bilton, no slouch here in this brown belt matchup, I should say.
And our next matchup, no gi in the 80 kilogram division, our first competitor. Representing Sydney West Martial Arts and weighing in at 78.2 kilograms, it is Axel Howie. And he'll be facing a competitor from Academy 411 weighing in at 79.3 kilograms. It is Nick Bilton.
And Hope Douglas with her first refereeing assignment for the evening. Interesting to see both of these guys looking at wrestling exchanges early on. Nice to see. I would have anticipated that one of these boys would sit to guard as leg lockers. But early stages here, they're both looking for that stand-up game. Axel with an underhook early.
What do you think of that, Grant? I'm liking to see that, fighting the fight standing became like an important part of grappling matches now.
Absolutely.
In the no-gi.
100%. And I think it's nice to see became again, because of course in the early days when we were looking at ADCC and the like, there was a lot of wrestling.
Yes, I feel nowadays you have to be a complete competitor.
Yes.
You've got to be able to fight standing, fight ground. Axel showing a lot of aggressiveness with his wrestling, which is really cool to see as well. But Nick was able to, shut it down
and training with guys like Luke Martin, of course, Josh Saunders. Will have a good training, good wrestling pedigree.
And Nick on a very tight
guillotine.
Let's see how Axel deals with it so far, but Nick's insisting a little bit more, and that's first strong submission attempt for the night.
Absolutely, and I would say that was a credible one too.
Axel played well out of it, but
Nick seeming like he doesn't want to put those feet on the ground to stand. I often talk with my guys. I've got one bloke who's an American wrestler at my academy, and he's got a feeling that you should get your first slam free in situations like this. Can't say I entirely disagree with him either.
Fair point.
But no, Tiago, I agree 100%. I think the leg lock sort of revolution of the past 5 or so years really was that closing of the full circle in jiu-jitsu, where the last sort of weakness was exposed, athletes developed great attacks and then great defenses, and that forces them to come back to their feet and dominate in wrestling.
Yes, 100%. I find that the whole leg lock attack was a very smart move, finding a gap that one event in the whole calendar year allowed.
Yes.
So it was something no one was training, but as soon as that was more exploited, now majority of the athletes are able to play in and out of the leg locks. So it's not a dominant position.
No,
it's actually a very risky position.
As we
Talking about it, Axel is already there. So let's see how he secures.
And that was an interesting sequence. Axel shooting on a double, Nick sprawling nicely, but sitting in and getting that inversion. Nick doing a great job to clear the leg there.
But as you can see, when you go for a leg attack, the downside of it could be end up in a very bad position.
Yes, yeah, it does often open you to back exposure. And of course, in MMA, there was often the talk that the reason guys don't go for legs is because it does leave you very susceptible for striking.
Exactly. But let's see it.
As we reach the halfway point, we've seen wrestling, we've seen guillotine attempts, leg lock attempts.
And Nick and Axel are back wrestling, and it seems like they are definitely looking for that top game, which is interesting to see. And very good job from Matt, that apart from running the event, taking photos, is also keeping everyone safe.
This man can't do. It just became a lumberjack match for a second. Just checking our co-promoter is okay there. Probably lucky it wasn't Matt and Matt from the first match. It would have been a very different situation for our Matt at ringside there.
Yeah, like he's doing that with the lighter weight guys.
Yep.
And Axel pulls straight into a leg attack, and he's in.
Yeah.
Nick seems quite relaxed, though. It seems like he's in control of what's happening.
Yeah. Axel looking for that sort of low position there. Nick's knee was never in too much danger. But it's beautiful. It is beautiful to see a lot of these guys wrestling. We've talked about how it can get a little bit samey, but these wrestling exchanges have been fantastic and very exciting for the crowd.
Especially when you see athletes like Axel now, where he is mixing up his wrestling with straight leg attacks.
Yes.
So he's wrestling, quite dominantly, and as we see now,
sits for another double leg. Nick doing a good job of attacking the
and he's on the legs.
Axel on the legs again. It's almost as though he knows that if things go wrong, he can go straight back to that position, and he is so highly competent there. But, of course, Nick Bilton also, we mentioned earlier, an excellent leg locker, and guys who know how to attack the legs typically also know how to defend the legs. They know where the weaknesses are and how to exploit them.
Well, his leg got caught when he was trying to jump the guillotine, but straight back to his feet, seems unfazed.
An action-packed back-and-forth matchup. I've got to say, not playing out the way I anticipated it going, but
being
I'm really
full-on
enjoying
wrestling match, yeah.
And with a minute remaining, guys looking for that inside head position. Got a couple of guillotines attempts from Nick versus a couple of leg lock attempts from Axel. Axel looking for a throw by. Does have the inside control on Nick there. And once again back to their feet with 30 seconds remaining here.
Yeah, it feels like they already showcase all their takedown entries, and now they feel on a bit of a stalemate, looking for, Nick is clearly looking for that jumping guillotine as his emergency plan.
Yes.
Axel seems a little bit more composed, but we need to see him finding an attack.
And it's nice to see Axel mixing up those foot sweep attempts with double legs. Makes it very hard for Nick to establish a posture that's going to defend both as Axel sits in on the leg. Did get to double trouble, but did get to double trouble with 1 second remaining.
Yes. So the question for the judges is, will that deep guillotine give Nick the fight, or Axel's multiple, controls and leg attempts?
And it goes to what we said earlier. Axel's fantastic leg control, but Nick did nullify it every time.
Yes.
Nick's guillotine attempts, Axel did defend them every time.
Yeah. And it was a very deep sub right at the beginning, but it's in the hands of the judges now.
I tend to think it was probably the closest submission attempt, but we'll see what those judges think.
Yeah, it was the closest submission attempt without a finish tonight.
Yes.
And your winner, coming by way of split judges' decision, it is Nick Bilton.
And again, it's not something you often see as a split decision in a card. Have two split decisions tonight, again, is a testament to the quality of this matchmaking. That was such a close match. Really could have gone either way. 6 minutes of action. Congratulations to both competitors. Nick Bilton taking the win tonight for one of our sponsors, Academy 411, with some excellent guillotine attempts.
Well, very good fight, and it was, like you said, a deeper submission. Credit to Axel, though, on the versatility of his game. With the variety of takedowns he was attempting, with combining that with leg attacks as well. So on the back of a double leg, he was going for a leg entry and a heel hook.
Exactly
so that was really cool to see as well.